Congratulations to all the passers of the recently concluded May 2025 CPA board exam. The announcement said that more than 3,000 daw yung pumasa this time, and that's 33.11% of the takers. So ayun, congrats! Today is June 8, Linggo, 4 days after ma-release yung results. By now, nag-sink in na siguro yung result dun sa mga nag-take for this season. By the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Rhea Lizada. I'm a CPA. I'm an accountant working in Makati, and I'm one half of the Lizada couple. I post content about my career as an accountant and also a bit about my life. For those who passed the CPA exams, again, congratulations. Sa mga hindi naman pinala, don't be afraid to try again. But don't rush. Don't rush into taking the exam again in October this year. Take time to look back kung ano yung naging problem, kung mapipinpoint mo kung saan ba nagkulang. So isipin mo muna kung ano yung mga nangyari before making another decision. And regardless kung pumasa ka or hindi, siguro iniisip mo na ngayon kung it's about time to join the workforce. Ano, tara! I've been working for nearly 14 years and I just want to share my thoughts with you. If you have seen my previous CPA and accounting videos, you would know that I spent the first 2 years of my career as an auditor in one of the big 4 firms, and then I moved on to an accounting BPO. And andun pa din ako hanggang ngayon. So doon ako mag-focus sa video na ito ngayon, kung ano yung mga naging experience ko that you can consider. I have to be honest, I applied dun sa big 4 firm kasi most of the CPAs I know, most of my friends, opted to go that route. Parang yun naman talaga yung classic for CPA board passers. Nagsisi ba ako? Hindi naman. Actually, marami akong natutunan. Marami akong natutunan dun sa firm. And I would have probably stayed longer depende dun sa naging circumstance. Diba? Kung na-retain siguro ako sa local audit engagements during my tenure, baka tumagal pa ako. To briefly explain kung ano yung na-experience ko, the hiring process was quick. So since nag-apply nga ako right after passing the board exams, most of the firms naman ay ready to take bulk applications during those seasons. Mabilis lang yung naging hiring process, yung interview, tapos parang ilang araw lang may job offer na agad. And what I like most is that they have great training programs for new hires. I'm not sure if it's just for fresh graduates or for all the new hires, but it was a full day session for about 3 days. Tapos, dun i-discuss yung methodology ng company, kung paano sila mag-conduct ng audit. Actually, introduce sa inyo yung audit process. Kasi ano bang malay mo dun, di ba? Well, the theory is there because na-discuss mo na siya sa school. But then, dun sa exercises na yun, you'll be trained by the senior associates ba kung tawagin? Basta yung mga senior auditors na. Tapos, you'll go through the audit process from the opening, so the start, hanggang sa conclusion phase, dun sa end. And meron ding mga actual exercise para ka talaga nag-audit. May mag-a-act sa client, tapos ikaw yung auditor, mga ganong bagay. So kahit hindi ka pa sumasabak sa trabaho, may expose ka na agad dun sa mga concepts. Ang hindi ko makakalimutan hanggang ngayon ay 2 bagay. So una, if it's not documented, it is not done. So yun yung isang i-instill sa'yo during the training pa lang. And the other one is yung identifying what could go wrong with each engagement. So it's part of every engagement to identify anong pwede mangyari. So hindi siya pagiging negative, but it's trying to find out ano yung pwedeng mangyari with scenarios that you can identify. Parang ganun. Okay, so fast forward dun sa actual work experience. I was part of an engagement na may mga audit, field work. So field work meaning pupunta ka sa mga client. The farthest na narating ko ay Ortigas at Laguna. So karamihan ng client ko ay based lang in Makati. So yun, lakad-lakad lang. Pero I was thinking kung mas malayo siguro yung mga naging kliyente ko, kung mas maraming field work, para nagkaroon ng travel perks yung job, di ba? So sana, kahit busy ka sa work, mayroong pag-enjoy pa rin kahit paano. But anyway, ang nangyari kasi is that, nalipat ako dun sa department na nagkikater to onshore teams. So, bali itong Big 4 company na ito. Siyempre, being Big 4, meron siyang foreign counterparts. And itong department na ito, I was able to work with people from Hong Kong and Australia. So, ang job ko that time is mag-balance ng trial balance, mag-check ng trial balance, mag-balance ng lead schedules, mag-prepare ng work papers. So, puro ganun lang. So, I was stuck in the office. Yes, less pagod kasi ando ka lang, walang field work. Pero, siguro in a way, nabuwasan yung fulfillment. And then around that time, I heard from a friend of friend na nag-transfer dito sa BPO company kung nasan ako ngayon. Which I will discuss in the next part. With the BPO company, hindi naman talaga ako nagpaplano mag-resign dun sa Big Four, but I thought, parang same lang naman siya. Kasi with BPO, you'll also be dealing with foreigners. So, syempre, via email lang, ganyan-ganyan. And I thought, bakit hindi? So, lipat na lang ako. Kasi haharapin ko lang din naman yung computer ko everyday. And I'll get to earn more money. Diba? So, nandun na yung pagiging practical. So, I tried submitting via JobStreet dun sa BPO company. And then, I think after a day or within the day, na-contact nila ako agad for interview. And surprisingly, as I mentioned with one of my previous vlogs, I was offered the job during the job interview. Ayun. I accepted the offer the next day and after almost 12 years, nandito pa rin ako. I think that's a testament na nag-enjoy naman talaga ako dun sa trabaho ko dito. So, BPO. Kung hindi yun familiar sa'yo, BPO is Business Process Outsourcing. It's outsourcing any process or any service sa ibang company or in the current sense, yung sa overseas talaga. In the Philippines, may connotation tayo na pag BPO ay call center. Pero in reality, it's any job na outsourced. There are a lot of outsourcing companies ngayon sa Philippines. So, if you're interested to apply kung saan ako nandun ngayon, and for the last 12 years, just check my LinkedIn profile, Realizada. Pwede kayo mag-send dun sa akin ng message if you have any questions about the job. Or leave a comment down below. In a BPO firm, you can be an auditor or an accountant. Depende dun sa engagement na mapapasukan mo. In my case, I started as a financial accountant, doing daily bank reconciliation, weekly sales report, month-end closing, year-end closing, ganyan. Meron ding mga quarterly tax compliance. So, syempre, kailangan mong aralin yung tax ng ibang bansa para magawa mo to. And yun na nga, medyo kinakalawang na ako dun sa tax sa Pilipinas. Dahil ilang years na ako with Aussie companies. So, I currently hold a managerial position wherein nagmamanage na lang ako both ng clients and ng staff members. So, it's trying to find the balance between what they want and what they need, what their requirements are, ganyan. But before I left my job as an accountant dun sa aking mga kliyente, I progressed to being a group accountant, finance manager, and financial controller for companies based in Australia. My job included travel perks, wherein nakapunta ako sa Australia for about 9 or 10 times yata. And once sa New Zealand. So, nakakatawa yung experience na yun. Okay, ang dami ko na namang na-share. By the way, as fresh grads, ang pwede nyo maging starting point sa isang BPO company ay, ayun, pwedeng junior auditor, depende kung willing sila mag-hire without experience, or AR or AP. Yes, you heard it right. Or. So, maalin lang. Kasi malaki yung demand dito sa outsourcing with accounts receivable or accounts payable. So with AP, ikaw yung magre-receive ng invoices ng company, ikaw mag-book sa system, and in some cases, ikaw yung magbabayad. With AR naman, it's the other way around. Ikaw yung mag-i-issue ng invoices sa customers ng company, mag-follow up ng payments. With AR, dun siya medyo nagiging call center kasi syempre with following up for payments, kailangan mong tawagan yung mga customers na makukulit at hindi nagbabayad. Highlight ko yung OR kasi hindi ka talaga agad may expose sa end-to-end accounting process at the beginning of your career. So it's something na good for you to expect. But it's a good starting point, and of course, you'll only learn better from there. I'm not sure if the Big Four firms accept non-CPA applicants, but in BPOs, they do. As a hiring manager rin from time to time, I appreciate those na nagsasabi kung kailan nila planong mag-take ng board exams. Kasi yung iba, fresh from school, naghahanap talaga ng work. Or yun nga, pag hindi sila pumasa with the board exam, nag-work muna sila. And then they plan kung kailan nila yung iti-take ulit. So it won't be taken against you, but it's something that I would like to consider kasi kung sakaling mangyari man yung time na yun at employed ka pa under my team, I'd like to support you kasi syempre gusto ko naman magtagumpay ka towards your goals. But kailangan ko yung malaman kasi gusto ko mabigyan ka ng enough time para makapag-review when the day comes. And syempre, kailangan kong gawa ng paraan kung paano mo cover yung tasks na may iwan mo temporarily. And yes, it happened. So I had staff members na fresh graduate, fresh CPAs, or nag-take ng CPAs while employed. And it works. So kahit anong part naman doon sa buhay mo, mag-work naman siya so long as you communicate it well. Okay, so about options again. On a side note, nag-apply ako before with a local automotive company. Gusto ko kasi talagang magtrabaho sa automotive industry kasi gusto ko makabili ng kotse on a discount. So ayun, umabot ako sa job offer pero ending hindi ko din tinanggap. Kasi I realized na sa automotive may pasok hanggang Sabado. And then yung nadagdag na sahod sa job offer is just minimal compared dun sa Big 4 sahod ko. Sabi ko parang hindi naman worth it yung pagod. Plus that, I learned na yung pinaka-finance head, I'm not sure if financial controller or CFO, has been with the business for 17 years. Initially, I thought that was a good thing kasi grabe yung loyalty ng tao, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, masaya siya dun sa trabaho niya. But later on, when I was thinking about it and reviewing the job offer, I realized, parang hirap naman ma-promote sa kumpanyang yun. Alam mo yun? So, parang yun yung nakikita kong downside pag nag-apply ka sa private. Na parang, kung hindi aalis yung boss mo, hindi ka mapopromote. Unlike kung sa firm setting, marami kayo, and maraming clients. So, parang mas magiging hawak mo yung career. Diba? So, ayun. Something to think about. Ang dami kong binigay na assignment sa inyo. Pero sana makatulong. Pero yun, again, I didn't accept the offer. So, hindi ko rin talaga masabi kung ganun nga ba yung magiging sitwasyon had I accepted it. So, hopefully, nabigyan kita ng insights sa mga iniisip mo ngayon. Dagdag pala isipan. Pero if meron ka pang questions, of course, feel free to comment down below. Sabi nga kanina, it's June 8. It's actually a Sunday, pero andito ako ngayon sa Makati. Meron kasi kaming mini sports fest ngayong araw na ito sa Mandaluyong. So it's part of our summer activity dito sa BPO company. Di ba ang saya? Tara na, mag-apply ka na. So, isa lang ito sa mga perks na makukuha mo with working with a BPO company. Andito na ako sa may Greenbelt area, and ayan, puro red light na. Malapit na ako sa office. So, paano? Bye for now, and see you on the next one. Thanks again for watching, mga kabibi, and good luck sa job hunting. Bye!